Dos, tres. Probando. Probando. And I do believe that we are live. Buenas noches, gente. This is, as always, Isidro Montalvo Espinosa, broadcast coordinator for Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña en vivo. With me, as always, is my co host, the egregious Luisa.
Hmm. How am I doing? Sour now that I've been called egregious. I know you're gonna tell me technically it's a compliment, but it sure doesn't feel like it.
It was originally a compliment. That's the thing that I have learned this week is that there was a point where it was a title. I knew that in the late Roman Empire there were official ranks that were things like illustrious and famous and things like that, and apparently egregious was one of them. So I'm loving the idea that there would be a man walking around in, I don't know, AD 387 or something,
Hmm.
whose name would be, the egregious Flavius Titus whatever. Titus
That's great.
Flavius, but you get it.
You need some really good rooster feathers on your hat for something like that, I think.
Yes, absolutely. I don't think I'm trying to think if the late Romans were big on hats. Anyway, pardon me. We are here for the first game of the last series of the 1905 season of the Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña. You'll have to pardon me. It's been a long week and I'm a little bit uh, throatier than I intended to be tonight. But this is the Campeonato Nacional Puertorriqueño. We are going to be in Naguabo for game one between, on my left, in brown and orange. Basically, if you're not looking at your screen right now, imagine what if the Cleveland Browns played baseball, and you're pretty much there.
Hmm.
The Tumbabrazos de Carolina, for those of you wondering, that translates to arm hackers or arm removers. And on our right, in sapphire and gold, our beloved Navegadores de Naguabo. And we are going to try to keep it lean and mean tonight. We're going to try to get through this game. Not, hurry it, but to get you the info, get you the facts, and focus on the baseball tonight. Stick to sports, if you will.
Hmm.
But having said that, I do think it's worth pointing out that this game almost could not make Louisa more nervous.
Yeah, that's true.
It's it's going to be
It
the
looks like it's going to be easy for the Navis to
yes,
win this
and you
one.
know what that
So,
means.
yeah,
Exactly.
that is
You
a
know what
bad
that
sign.
means. It's kind of exciting because the Navis during all of this have been pretty heavily favored in every series and they have obviously come out ahead. And then we're getting into this series where they are favored by something like 9-1 odds, which is ridiculous for a national championship.
Yeah, really.
How the Tumbabrazos made it here? Well, I can tell you how they made it here. They made it here on the strength of a guy named Joseph Kroos, Canadian, of course, Pucheron, obviously, who hit 38 home runs during the year in 157
Whoa.
games, and then
Wow.
proceeded to hit another 11 in 20 postseason games, which
What?
shatters the record. Not only does it shatter the LNP record, which, pardon me, one season wonder Maurice Knight set back in 1901 for the San Salvos de Morovis when he hit four.
Whoa.
That was the single postseason record. And that, to be fair, Maurice Knight hit those in like 7 games because the San Salvos did not last very long in that postseason.
Mhm.
But Kroos, obviously, not only has he shattered that record, but the current single postseason home run record in Major League Baseball is 2020 Randy Arozarena with 10.
Amazing.
So in 1905, the LMP already had a man throw the gauntlet down as hard and as far as it had ever been thrown.
That's great.
So Ted Balloon is going to have his work cut out. Says, well, since you're taking odds, what's the over under on Looney's hit batsman count for tonight? We were actually going to wait until we get down to the field before we publish the prediction, but we think that's going to be it. Pardon me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. Oh, and I'm sorry. Everton Stack should not be starting this game. Every game one here has been started by Ted Balloon, and we're not going to change that. Everton Stack will be presumably starting game two. Oh, yeah, we should mention, by the way, in case the Navegadores weren't coming into this with sufficient advantages, Everton Stack is back. He is off the injured list
Yay!
just in time to ride to the rescue. Although it has to be said, sorry, going back to these guys, you might see that Ismail Faraj is not joining us for this series, and that's because he was the odd one out in the Naguabo rotation. Balloon, Picos, Perez, Quinlivan, and Stack will be forming the pitching staff. Although, if we have to go to Perez in this series, something has gone deeply, deeply wrong. If you are seeing Tomas Perez, if you are seeing Hervé Fontaine pitch in this series, it better be a 20 plus inning game.
Okay.
All right, what do you say? Should we get down to the field?
Yeah, let's play.
Let's do this thing. We are, of course, at La Timonera. And by the way, we should also mention this is going to be the swan song for Out of the Park 25 on this channel, almost certainly. We're going to be taking, after we finish the Campeonato Nacional, we'll be streaming this game. And then after this, we will try and record the rest of the games as best we can. Some of them I might be flying solo, some of them I might get to do with Luisa, but after this, we're going to take an extended hiatus to get the 1906 season ready, make sure we've translated new commercials for you, make sure that we schedule the games ahead of time so we have some idea what we're doing, and also give Out of the Park Developments time to, well, Out of the Park 26 launched today, officially. We've had the beta for about 3 days now, because we pre-ordered. We're special that way. And
Very good.
they've already had to update it like 3 or 4 times. So
Mm.
we're gonna let them work out the kinks during the off season, what we're gonna be doing, and we'll then come back in once it seems like a more stable release. That's currently the plan at any rate. Before we do anything, we're gonna. I don't think I need to tell you that it is raining. That
Yeah, it
seems
looks like it
fairly
today.
obvious. Uh, Attendance is a strong 5,019. Temperature is 26 degrees, and for what I believe to be the first time in this postseason, the wind is blowing in from center rather than out to center. So hopefully that'll hang some balls out there for Graham Underwood to be able to catch a little bit more easily. Although he has been doing quite well in the field during this postseason, had a diving catch in the Campeonato de Liga Betances that was very well regarded.
Oh, good.
So that should be good for him. Obviously, there's no out of town games. These are the only 2 teams still playing. One of these teams is going to end the other team's season. It is simply guaranteed.
Nice.
Before we read our starting lineups and have our first pitch, we have so many sponsors, you guys. We have so many people that come together to make these broadcasts possible. Some of them are our patrones, and we will get to them in a little bit. But there's also our official sponsors, and among them, there is one that stands head and shoulders, or perhaps head and bottleneck, above all the rest. Luisa, who am I talking about?
You are, of course, talking about Dr. Gonzalez and his wonderful wood tar liquor. Folks, 50,000 patients have been cured over 10 years with it. Chronic colds, rogue coughs, abundant chest discharges, asthma, bronchitis, and other respiratory ailments, all cured. It helps with both consumption and bladder catarrh. It purifies overhumored blood, and it whets the appetite for fattening. Not to be confused with other Dr. Gonzalez wood tar liquors, except no substitutes. And of course, it is sold in all good pharmacies, especially San Juan's own Farmacia Guillermetti, at the corner of Calle de San Francisco and Calle de la Cruz.
Thank you very much, Louisa. We were just alerting the Out of the Park Discord that, hey, we're going live right now. It's time we got started. the starting lineup for the visiting Tumbabrazos de Carolina. And before I continue, I should mention that in both the LMP verse as well as your reality, if you're watching this, Carolina is the hometown team of the greatest right fielders to wear number 13 in both universes.
Oh.
In your universe, of course, Roberto Clemente originally wore number 13 before, as it turned out, he was in such a slump that he switched numbers and became Roberto Clemente. He was from Carolina, and as we all know in LMP verse, there is one particular right fielder from Carolina who wore number 13 who is near and dear to our heart. And that is Victor Nieves.
Of course.
Whose biography, we're still working on all the research there. There's a lot of data we got to wade through, but these guys would be his hometown team if he were still with us. Que en paz descanse. But, well, here goes nothing. For the Tumbabrazos de Carolina, batting leadoff and playing center field, number 34, Ricardo Cano. Batting second and playing left field, number 17, Juan Perez. Batting third, the designated hitter, number 33, Connor McDonald. Batting fourth and playing first base, number 6, Joseph Kroos. Batting fifth and playing second base, number 9, Rene Espinosa. Batting sixth and playing third base, number 41, Pedro Ramirez. Batting seventh and playing right field, number 13, Luis Holguin. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, number 16, Eduino Ramos. Batting ninth and catching, number 21, Howell Harrison.
Rene Espinosa, is that any relation of yours?
Not as far as I know. Let me see here. Where is he from? That would be the question. He's from Manatí. I don't think I have any cousins from out there. All of mine are we're very much either Aguadilla, that's a big Espinosa stronghold, or San Juan at this point.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
But who knows? He could be, Manatí is close enough that he could be a distant relationship. Pitching for the Tumbabrazos tonight, number 18, Lennon Robertson. So I gotta say, this is one of the few teams that might be as international as the Navegadores are. You've got Puerto Ricans, of course, but you've also got Connor McDonald, who is English, despite the name. Joseph Kroos and Howell Harrison are Canadian, as is backup Aubrey Handrahan. Pedro Ramirez is Cuban. Leonard Robertson is Irish, and Chandler King is American from California, if I remember correctly. So you've got, forgot another Englishman, third baseman Theo Boyce. So they've got all sorts of people on this ball club, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But of course, we know who you're here to watch, and it's not the Tumbabrazos de Carolina. So now it's time for the starting lineup for your Navegadores de Naguabo. Batting leadoff and playing first base, number 16, Rob Feaster.
The Grackle.
Batting second and playing second base, number 4, Eto'o Shirtlu.
The Font of Wisdom.
Batting third and playing left field, number 37, Vidal Santiago.
The Barber.
Batting fourth and playing right field, number 56, Frank Del Castillo.
Diablo Rojo.
Batting fifth and playing shortstop, number 6, Benigno Valdez.
Benji.
And I hope you're hearing this, Benji, but it is your creator's birthday tomorrow, I believe. So how about we pick it up tonight? A little bit of an early present? Batting sixth and playing third base, number 12, Wally Balk.
The Human Ripcord.
Batting seventh and playing center field, number 27, Graham Underwood. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 18, Declan Milne.
The wielder of the 100-acre wood.
Batting ninth and catching, number 0, Spike Stonehand.
The man who needs no nickname.
And pitching for the Navegadores de Naguabo, number 2, Ted Balloon.
Also, the wild man of Naguabo.
I I don't know if people caught that. I missed the. I'm guessing you said Looney Balloony. That did
Yes.
not come through on my headphones.
Oh no.
Yeah.
How about wild man of Naguabo? Did you hear that one?
I did hear that part, yes.
Okay, good.
Okay, give me 1 second. Over, under, on Ted. Where do you think? What do you think? Where should we put the over under for Ted hitting?
I don't know how odds work. I do think he's definitely gonna hit a guy. At
Well,
least one.
so what it is we have to pick a number, and
Okay.
we should put somewhere between. Usually, when you do over under, you pick a half so that it can't be in between. So that, for example, if you say over under 3.5, right? Well, that puts
Mhm.
3 and 4 on opposite sides of that, so you don't have a problem with. I don't know. I as a rule, I
Okay.
do not gamble.
Mhm.
So let's see. The question is, so this would be over. I think I'm gonna go conservative. I'm gonna say over 2.5 for the prediction tonight,
Okay.
and I'm gonna give people about. We're picking up viewers, so I'm gonna give them about 15 minutes to submit that. So if you haven't, this is a new feature. We haven't been doing this for. Well, it's not a new feature for Twitch. They've had it forever, but we have generally not been doing this.
Hmm.
For those of you who might be unfamiliar, Ted Balloon, well, let's see. He's hit 30 batters this year. It's the first year since he entered the league that he has not led the league in hit batsmen.
Hmm.
And he has hit 8 more guys in the postseason. So it's
Jeez.
it's it's pretty bad. So we're hoping we're kind of hoping so far he has not injured anybody by doing it. Is the thing.
Hmm.
We're hoping it kind of stays that way. Anyway, it's time we got started with this inning. Leading off for the Tumbabrazos de Carolina here in the top of the first, Ricardo Cano, possibly Cano. OPS of 669, no home runs, 8 runs batted in. Ted Balloon has pitched 49 innings, has 6 wins, no losses, an ERA of, this is not a misread, 0.37.
Whoa.
57 strikeouts to 19 walks, and as we've mentioned, 8 hit batsmen, 2 earned runs over those 49 innings. So if he's going to go cold here, you really can't complain. He's done everything to get you up to this point. It's now up to the bats and the rest of the pitchers to show up for him.
Hmm.
It's time to get started here as we pan around La Timonera.
Very
This may be
nice.
our last time seeing it in this form, as
Oh,
we've
I
already
really want to
been.
see the grotto.
The grotto is going to be back. I'll let you know that right now.
Okay. All right.
He held opponents to a 198 batting average, and here against Cano, he throws a forkball under the zone and gets strike one, and we're off. Ted then immediately proceeds to, with increased confidence, throw a forkball directly at the batter's box.
He loves a forkball.
He does, and it evens the count 1-1. Ted Balloon, of course, fastball, curveball, forkball, and changeup. And that's the fastball, low in the zone, but strike 2 nonetheless. So Ted here clearly looking for that first K. He's got to be aggressive because a clean inning here means he gets to face Joey Crows as the leadoff hitter in inning number 2. And so at worst, it'll be a solo shot. As that's fouled into the dugout. 1-2 still. Let's see if he can finish him off here. And he misses just barely with a curveball. I mean, you can see where he feels like he should have gotten that call. It's right between the forkball and fastball. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, it's a 2-2 count. He's got to bear down and get this out. And he does that time. A forkball low in the zone. The umpire rings him up. And it's strikeout number 1 for Ted Balloon. 6 pitches into the game and 1 batter. Next up, it'll be Juan Perez in the postseason. He's had an OPS of 590, no home runs, 8 runs batted in. He did quite well during the regular season, so this is a precipitous decline for him in the playoffs. You can see the Navegadores very afraid of him, even though there's an out and the bases are empty. That curveball away, clearly meant to attract a big swing there, easy fly ball kind of thing. And he misses inside with the curveball, 2-0. Balloon here trying to nibble, but I don't think he's going to get any bait past Perez. He's going to have to pitch in the zone at some point. That fastball should have been called ball 3, but he gets a generous call from the umpire, and instead it'll be strike 1, 2-1 count. Perez pops that one up in foul territory. They're going to chase it down. Stonehand and Balk going for it. It'll be Wally Balk who grabs it, and it's out number 2. And then here comes Connor McDonald, who is doing quite well in the postseason. OPS of 842, 1 home run, 12 runs batted in, which beats any member of the starting lineup for the Navegadores. So they've got to be very careful with him here.
Mm-hmm.
He actually used to be on the Martilleros de Vega Alta, so the Navegadores have faced him, I believe, during the regular season. His trade to Carolina was a big set. First of all, it revived his career. He had been doing actually kind of badly this year for Vega Alta as they slowly just kind of tore down. But going over to Carolina seems to have revitalized him. In fewer games, he had more homers. He had almost as many runs batted in. Better average, better on base percentage, better slugging. So that's what a change of scenery can do for you.
Nice.
Fastball is called a strike. And is that pitch? That's a fastball low, 1-1. That is swung on and fouled. 1-2 there. So Ted's got a shot here at picking up a second strikeout. And he gets it. That changeup hums right past. And it's a clean top of the frame for Ted Balloon. The sides retired. The Tumbabrazos get nothing across. So we head into the bottom, where the top of the lineup for the Navegadores will get to work on Lennon Robertson. Once upon a time, Lennon Robertson was not just the future of the Carolina rotation. He was the future of LNP pitching as a whole.
Ooh.
He began pitching at the age of 15 for the Tumbabrazos. In the 1903 season, went 23-18, 1.6 ERA. I think he only barely missed. Did he actually win Lanzador Nobilísimo that year? He had, if I remember correctly, he was a lock up until the last couple months of the season where he fell apart a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody else scooped him. But everybody knew he was going to be back and be even better. In 1904, he returned to the mound, and he made it through 8 1/3 innings before his labrum tore.
Ah,
so
that's a shame.
Yeah, so he sat out the rest of the year. He's back in 1905. He's done pretty well. Seems to be not nearly as good as he had been before, although the quality of contact, he seems to have understood that he's not the same pitcher he used to be. So he's been a little bit more willing to go for the ground ball contact, to induce soft foul balls, things like that, than go for the strikeout, which was his calling card. And I mean, he's got the pitches to back it up: a fastball, a slider, and a curveball, and a changeup, which is your basic 4-pitch arsenal. And then he has a sinker and a splitter, and the splitter is his money pitch. Sinkers and splitters are very tough for the Navegadores. I mean, they're tough for any batter, but
yeah,
the Naves in particular seem to have prepared to hit splitters in the playoffs, and the response has been to just throw sinker ballers against them all the time.
Pretty good.
So here comes number 16, Rob Feaster. OPS of 745 during the postseason. No home runs, 7 runs batted in. Robertson, if he's smart, will go for contact here and trust his defense. That worked very well for Kamui, as there's a first pitch pop-up. It'll be, let's see, that won't be Ramos. It'll be Ramirez out there by third base, and he's got it. 1 pitch and 1 out, as that hanging curveball did not have quite enough on it. Here comes Shirley. He's at triple sevens, no home runs and 10 runs batted in. He was a machine for most of the early part of the playoffs. Cooled down quite a bit recently, but still puts together some quality at bats. That splitter misses low, 1-0. And that fastball is in there. Another generous call from the umpire. 1-1. Robertson misses, low and away with a slider. 2-1, and you can see the plan here. He's trying to get that ground ball down and away. Weak contact. As he misses again with that slider. 3-1. Let's see here what he goes to for his gentleman hitter's count pitch. Shirley lances that one into left field, but I'm guessing that's going foul. Sure enough, it is, even though it appears to have landed in fair territory.
Yeah, it did look like that.
Now, that'll bring us to a full count. And you know what that means. Here come the 6 words everybody loves to hear during a baseball game. This will be a payoff pitch.
Woo!
And he got him. No, he actually made contact with that. I thought it was a drop third strike, but he got just enough of the bat on that one, and that fastball is fouled, so we'll continue. Payoff pitch number 2. He's taking the pitches that Rob didn't. Pops that one up, foul territory. That one might make the stands before Harrison can get over there. By the way, can we talk about the hilarious names on the catching room in Carolina? Chandler King and Howell Harrison.
They're very good. Well, Chandler King, very Friends, very 90s. The 90s are back in a big way.
Yes.
Harold Harrison, is that just because it's 2 H's? Why is that one great?
Because Howell is also usually a surname.
That's true. So's Lennon.
True. Yeah. There was a weird amount of... You know who this happened to, too, is poor Quinlivan. When he first registered, he registered as Quinlivan Gray, which Gray turned out to be his mother's name.
Oh, okay.
Name. So there seems to be something where when these guys sign up for, I don't know, whatever passed for ID in Puerto Rico, it seems like they got confused and they were putting their 2 surnames where they should have been putting first name and father's surname or something like that. Or maybe they were just dropping the first name so they couldn't be tracked. I don't know.
Maybe they got confused by the Spanish conventions of matrilineal names, etc., etc.
Almost certainly, yes. Here we go again. Payoff pitch number 3. He hits that one and lances it into right field, but unfortunately for him, that is right into Holguin's glove. A good running catch there to make it out number 2, what would have otherwise been a sure base hit. And here comes Vidal Santiago. He's had a lot of trouble in the postseason. OPS of 594. On base percentage at this point at a pitiful 311.
Pretty good though. Amber and all.
Well, I think if amber is the color of his energy, that I think in this color scheme it helps the other team more.
Yeah, that's very true.
And 10 runs batted in during the playoffs, which is granted tied for the lead right now on the team. 2 outs and the base is empty. Let's see if Vidal can at least have a good AB, as this first inning is not looking so bright. Vidal swings at what I'm pretty sure would have been ball 2. Nope, it was in the zone. Didn't look it, though. 1-1 count. Fastball is in there at the knees. So he's got a nothing but heaters so far. Let's see what happens here with 2 strikes. If Robertson finishes him off, gets his first K. He misses. He misses a little bit wide there. Fastball again, though. So Robertson is still going for that pitch. And he's thrown all over the lower part of the zone. Let's see if he goes, elevates it for strike 3 here. He's certainly got the pitches to waste. And Santiago is going to force him to waste them as he swings at that fastball and knocks it foul. 2-2. And rinse and repeat. Santiago fouls that one off as well on a check swing, so we'll stay at 2-2. It's a 6-pitch at bat. Good stuff from Vidal, who's had trouble running the count long, but he ends it on that strikeout. All fastballs, as far as I can tell, and the Navegadores respond to Ted's top clean of the first. Ends up being returned with a with a bottom clean from the Navegadores.
Nice.
So here we go into the top of the second, and it'll be Cruz, Espinosa, and Ramirez. So Cruz, obviously the dangerous bat here. These are video game numbers. Average of 380. OPS of 1241. Now, longtime viewers may remember that I told the joke about if your OPS is like in the Middle Ages, you're doing very well. If your OPS is after the Magna Carta got signed, you might be the best player in baseball.
You're headed for that renaissance.
Exactly. 11 home runs, 25 runs batted in, which, as you can see, is more than double what any Navegador has managed on the starting lineup.
Wow. Incredible.
And Ted is at 14 pitches through 1 inning with 2 strikeouts. Let's see if he can get Cruz, who is weak to the strikeout. It's not like they can't get him out, but the question is, how are they going to do it?
Yeah.
As, well, that might be how. As he throws that curveball and Cruz swings right through it, 0-1. He swings on that one and hits it foul. Forkball there, 0-2. The one advantage they've maybe got here is that Cruz hasn't seen Balloon pitch before. As that fastball misses low. So he's thrown him 3 of the pitches here. I don't know, maybe he goes with a changeup for that strikeout, if that's what he wants to do.
He doesn't know to be worried about getting hit.
Clearly, because he did not move out of the way of that fastball. That was basically pointed directly at his shins. The 2-2 count. And he got him! Balloon wins the first matchup between the two, and that's his 60th strikeout in this postseason. Well done. 3 strikeouts so far for Ted, and his reward is to face Rene Espinosa, who is currently hitting .643, no home runs, 7 runs batted in. I'm going to make a controversial statement. I think he's hitting too well to be related to me.
Not to be down on yourself or anything.
Listen, we have many gifts in the Espinosa family. Being good at baseball, not one of them.
Fair.
Fastball.
Understanding baseball, you're very good at that.
I don't think baseball is like Tushev's Russia. Baseball cannot be understood with the mind. In baseball, you must believe. Fastball down and away, and it misses. Ball 1. Then he gets a strike on the fastball there to even the count. 1-1. Not afraid of Espinosa. Interesting. Contact hitters tend to be his downfall, as that curveball misses low. 2-1. And that could have easily been a strike. So he could be ahead right now. Gets the swinging strike on the curveball. 2-2. Can he finish him off here? Not quite. He hits the dirt with that last curveball there, and almost hits Espinosa for that matter. So you know what that means. This will be a payoff pitch. A lot of full counts happening early in this game. Hits that one through, and well, if you were hoping for the Ted Balloon no-hitter, it's not happening tonight, as that rolls all the way into the alley in left field. And as we're used to from Naguabo outfielders, Vidal Santiago takes an entire geological era to get that one out of his glove. It's a double. It would have been a double regardless, to be honest, but with 1 out, there will be a man on second, Rene Espinosa, in scoring position for Pedro Ramirez, who has the OPS .642 and 9 runs batted in. Says, well, no one was counting on a Ted no-hitter.
Certainly not me.
I don't know. He's taken a no-hitter into like the 6th a few times this year.
Has he?
Yeah. Not in the postseason. Not in a game that we streamed, but it's happened.
I guess walking or hitting guys don't count as hits?
Correct.
Okay.
They have to get on base by means of their own bat. Fastball low, 1-0. Fastball misses inside, 2-0. And here we start to see the problem. He went... Pardon me. As I was saying, yeah, he went pretty far last Friday. Yeah, he went like 4 2/3, I believe, no hit.
I was going to say, not seeing a whole lot of Carolina shirts in the audience, strangely enough.
Very true, and you would think they're not that far away.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina, if I remember correctly, which I may not, they're with Loíza and Trujillo Alto, so they. So I believe they are on this side of the island from San Juan, so they should be along the same rail line. 2-1 count. And that is hit right to Bach. He throws to first, and that's out number 2. For a second there, I thought Ted Balloon might be a little bit afraid there with a runner on, but he maneuvers around him, and now he gets to face Luis Holguin. OPS of 536, no home runs, 8 runs batted in. Holguin has the look of a man who's recently lost some weight. I can't say that for sure, but...
Interesting.
I've usually seen that face on guys who are a little bit thicker.
He's got that unfortunate beard. Makes it look like he has a butt chin.
Yep. Forkball blown away, 1-0. As that is in there, a strike, 1-1. Now, you might think Luis Holguin hitting 217 during the postseason. That's bad. Well, as it turns out, he hit something like 196 during the regular season. So, could be worse.
Yeah, this is his time to shine.
Yeah, they value his defense, really. 1-1 count. As that forkball misses, low and outside, 2-1. He fouls off a high curveball, I believe, a high changeup, 2-2. And let's see what Ted wants to do with 2 strikes here. What he wants to do is strike him out, but Holguin is having none of that, and he sends the changeup away. So let's see what Ted does here as he will be at 35 pitches. Oh, that is bounced to Benji Valdez. He's got it, throws overhanded. That's out number 3.
All right.
So Carolina gets the hit, and that's it here in the top of the second, but they get a good number of pitches out of Ted. And in the bottom of the second, it'll be interesting to see how the middle of the lineup replies. We should also quickly check on the bullpen for Carolina. They've got 3 guys, including a hard-throwing closer here. Well, I say hard-throwing. I mean more like the power of his pitches is good. But he does seem to have control issues, and a fastball slider guy is your classic. If he sees the same batter more than once, he's screwed. Jose Vélez, who appears to have previously pitched for the Cotorras, he had a 7 1/3 innings for them, and Pedro Alcocer did quite well for them in the last 2 seasons, pitching exactly 17 1/3 innings in each one. So it's good to know that if it comes down to the pens, it'll be a battle. Ted is looking remarkably controlled this evening. Why would you say that? Anyway, here in the bottom of the second, Leonard Robertson, 1 inning, 1 strikeout, faces Frank De Castillo, who is OPSing 1,001 in the postseason with a home run and 10 runs batted in. Frank also hit for the cycle in this postseason.
Wow.
Yeah, he's done very, very well for himself. They're going to be very sad when they have to lose him to another team, which is not this offseason, I should be clear. As that curveball is called a strike, it looked like it broke under the zone, but that's not what the umpire says. 0-1. He watches that splitter, and everybody knew that was under. 1-1. The Castillo is a frustrating player to watch in the postseason because he'll come up in heroic moments, and he'll do amazing things. And then other times, he'll come up in those exact same moments and have the worst at-bat you have ever seen by a professional baseball player.
Oof.
But it's hard to say that about him in a game where the first batter popped up on the first pitch. So, anyway, 2-1 count after that fastball hits the plate. And here goes nothing. He hits that one directly to Pedro Ramirez at third. Another one of those liners directly into a fielder's glove that we've been very tired of this postseason. Here comes Benji Valdez. He's OPSing 632, no home runs, 7 runs batted in. He comes up with 1 out and the base is empty. Let's see if he can at least force Robertson to waste some pitches. What are they going to call that? Fastball misses inside, 1-0. For a while there, Benji seemed to be really taking his time with the at-bats, being very patient. And that was rewarding. He was drawing a lot of walks in the early series, and it'd be nice to see a return to that. As that slider misses way, way away. 2-0. That's going to be a strike. A fastball just barely into the zone. 2-1. Let's see here. Hits that one into right field. Holguin should not be able to get to that. And there goes Lennon Robertson's no-hitter as well. It's a line drive, and Valdez will be on base for Wally Balk. Now the question is, of course, with a guy on the base paths, we've got to check a couple things. Lennon Robertson, good holder. Is Howell Harrison a good thrower? He is an incredible thrower.
Ooh.
So you know what's about to happen. We all do.
I think you do. Yep.
Here comes Wally Balk. OPS of 6.22, 1 home run, 6 runs batted in the postseason. Let's see if Benji can make it to second. You know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. And what's going to happen is Benji is going to steal on both of those guys.
Wow. That was close.
That's his 10th stolen base of the postseason. They've had zero luck stealing from way worse catchers during the postseason. I don't know if this is overconfidence on Harrison's part or what's going on there, but wow. Confident steal, and he does it. So it's a 1-0 count as that splitter fell inside, and he's on second base with 1 out. See, Wally can move him along a little bit here as that sinker apparently catches the zone somehow. Beginning to think this umpire's, again, a little weird with that part of the zone. Bit of a buffet inning. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 runner, 1 out. Let's see what happens here. Balk! Line drive, right field. Lands all the way to the wall. Benji is off. He will score easily. And that's going to be an RBI double as Wally Balk slides into second and scores the first run of the Campeonato Nacional Puertorriqueño.
That's a surprise.
Say that again?
A surprise. A nice one, though.
Very nice. From Wally Balk there, a double hit hard right into the corner. He could not have coffin cornered it any better. Luis Holguin having to go all the way out there to the corner. There was no way they were stopping Valdez from scoring that run. And Leonard Robertson falls behind here and extends the inning. That'll bring up Graham Underwood, who's still got an OPS of 715 with no home runs, but 8 runs batted in. He's done pretty well in stretches of this postseason. Let's see if he can keep that rolling here in the Campeonato Nacional. Man on second with 1 out. Harvey Burford, I want to say, or as the Spanish speakers call him, El Burfo.
What's that?
It's just their version of Burford.
Okay.
It's literally just the first 5 letters.
Gotcha.
El Burfo has really been very confident with him, putting him into bat 7th. We gave Harvey a chance to change the lineup before this series, and he said no. He likes Underwood exactly where he is. So let's see. He had 75 runs batted in as that changeup misses outside. 1-0. Oh boy. Popped up foul. Is that looks like it's hanging. It's not going to make the stands, I don't think. Will it? Nope. The catcher's got it, Harrison. And that's out number 2.
All right.
Yep. Slider. Interesting. Using a slider away to a lefty, to an opposite-handed hitter, as a way to try and induce that fly ball. Not a bad strategy. And here comes Declan Milne, who's got an OPS of 5.61, no home runs, 4 runs batted in. And I know what you're asking. Isn't his whole job to hit? Isn't he in fact called the designated hitter? And you are correct. He is. And it is his only job to hit. And yet, here we are. He's done okay in some games, so we're just kind of hoping he can make it happen here. With a man on second base and 2 outs, as that fastball misses 1-0. Milne swings and misses through that second fastball, 1-1. Boy, Robertson, I don't know how he gave up that hit to balk because every other piece of contact from the Navegadores in this game has been getting under the ball and just a straight pop up. Benji got lucky with that one that it just dropped early. So we are through two. The Navegadores take the lead, and now it's left to see whether Ted Balloon can hold it. He's at 35 pitches through 2 innings, a hit and 3 strikeouts on his line, and he will face Ramos, Harrison, and Cano at minimum. Edwino Ramos having a great postseason. OPS of 760, an average and on-base percentage both of 360, meaning all of those have been hits. No home runs and 4 runs batted in. Says Will, that was Benji's birthday gift to him.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yep. Fastball misses low, and Ramos does not go after it. Ramos, a pretty good all-around shortstop, as that curveball is in there for strike one. Good defense, decent hitting. As far as good shortstops go, you could do a lot worse. And really, he's been a key part of why Carolina has suddenly experienced a lot more success. People may not know this, and for once, I'm not using that to do a bit. Carolina had not gone to the postseason until 1903, ever.
Wow.
Not just in the 20th century, all the way back to 1871. That was their first postseason entrance in 1903.
Geez, I hesitate to ask anything about stats, so good luck, but are they the worst at that? Did it take them the longest to get into the finals?
You might have to say most of that again.
Oh. Are they the worst? Did it take them longer to get into the finals than any other team? Or
There are 3, I want to say there are 3 other teams, possibly even 4, that have not made it to the postseason yet.
oh wow.
I
Okay.
can check this really quickly. Hang on. Let's see. We're looking for 0 playoff appearances. I know who a few of them are. The question is whether I remember all of them. So let's see.
Yeah.
The Corceles de Santa Isabel have never made the postseason. The
Darn.
Mulos de Aguas Buenas almost looked like they were going to make it this year and then just didn't.
Ugh.
The Guardacostas de Cataño also started off really strong this year and then didn't make it. And the Matadioses de Añasco have not made it.
Wow, okay.
The Matadioses are the only remaining team in Ostos to never make the playoffs, and all 3 of those other teams are Betances.
Flashbacks of drawing horse hooves over and over.
Yeah, and notably 2 of those are horse teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And they've got mascots.
they sure do. Ted Balloon, 2 strikes on Edwino Ramos. Can he finish him off here? Not quite. Misses low with the curveball again, 2-2. This is an interesting strategy he's deploying. I hope it pays off for him because, well, he missed away with that changeup. So this will be a payoff pitch. Ted Balloon already at 40 pitches. Don't worry about it, Ted. It's not like you're going to have to pitch 2 more games in this series or anything.
I feel like Ted never thinks about tomorrow while he's pitching.
No, that's very true. That's part of what makes him the wild man of Naguabo.
Mm-hmm.
As he misses again with ball 4 and puts a man on first with no outs. Edwino Ramos, a decent stealer, and if they've heard the rumors of Spike Stonehand's arm kind of going soft during the postseason, they might take advantage of that. Mm-hmm. Here comes Howell Harrison, the catcher, who's hitting .618 during the postseason. No home runs, 8 runs batted in. Balloon with a man on base and no outs. Harrison going for the sac bunt there, and he'll be successful. He moves over Ramos to second base as Feaster throws that one to Balloon. That's out number 1. With a man on second and 1 out, the lineup turns over. Yes, as Will lets the audience know, Threadless is having a sale, and Mascot Bowl 4 is posted. Yeah, it's a big sale. T-shirts are something like, I believe, $13 right now. And it's up
Yeah.
to 40% off everything else. Let me just share the collection real quick for everybody who's watching. This is good stuff. Louisa, who's here, designed these. I computerized them. And they are available on plenty of colors, plenty of sizes, plenty of styles.
I need to go shop over there myself and get some new shirts.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited to finally decide on one. Although I do have so many LMP shirts right now that I don't know which one I want to get. I
I'm
usually try to.
surprised you have any other shirts at all.
Well, I have a ton of T-shirts for work, and
Hmm.
then I've got T-shirts that I've accumulated since college that have just been sitting basically in a drawer for years and years because they technically still fit me. But yes, the
Yeah.
grand majority of my shirts right now are in fact LMP shirts.
Nice.
Cano, 0 for 1 on the day with a man on second and 1 out. Balloon misses here with the forkball, 1 0. Gets a swing and a miss on the fastball away, 1 1. And is that a strike? Yes, the changeup is in there for strike 2. Can he finish him off here? No, he misses low there with the changeup, 2 and 2. Cano swings on that one, lifts it to right field, but it's going to go foul. So we'll do that again as Ted there gets lucky. 2-2 count. Misses inside, and it'll be another full count as Ted suddenly decided to stop challenging opposing hitters. This will be yet another payoff pitch. And he walked him.
Of course.
This is not a great game 1 here from Ted so far. He'll face Juan Perez, who's 0 for 1, and he's just extended the inning with 2 on and 1 out to where he's going to have to face McDonald. Not that Perez is any slouch. During the season, he had 342 with runners in scoring position, as that curveball misses low, 1 0. Gets a swing and miss on that one. Fastball under the zone, 1 1. And that seems to just be encouraging Ted to throw inside, outside, but anywhere but the zone, as that forkball misses inside, 2 1. Ted, what are you doing?
Oh, Ted.
Misses inside with a fastball, so another 3-ball count, and he will load the bases if this walk goes through. Perez lines that one into right field, and boy, does Ted get lucky there. It's hit hard, but it hangs out in the wind, and then Castillo is able to catch it.
Nice. Nice to see him making a good catch. I know I get on his case sometimes.
And here comes Connor McDonald, who's 0 for 1. Yeah, you're not kidding. Trusting Frank de Castillo to make the catch in right field is an interesting strategy. Fastball in there, strike 1. Fastball not in there, but still strike 2. And McDonald finally figures out that maybe he shouldn't swing. So he watches that curveball miss, 1 and 2. Let's see. I would put the changeup up and in here. That's not what he's going to do, but it's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
He misses because he went low and inside. He doesn't get the swing and miss, so it's 2 and 2 now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 runners, 2 outs. As they used to say, deuces wild. And he got him. So after all that, foo for all, Connor McDonald strikes out. Balloon gets his 4th K. That retires the side, and the Tumbabrazos strand 2. The Navegadores remain in the lead, and it'll be Stonehand, Feaster, and Shirtlute to see that it basically not only stays that way, but gets better. Lennon Robertson, 32 pitches over 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 strikeout. Stonehand is having a tough one. 371 OPS in the postseason. That's not average. That's not on base percentage. That is on base and slugging. 0 home runs and 4 runs batted in. And as Will says, Ted did in fact get fabulously lucky in that one.
Mm-hmm.
As the rain starts to fall, because of course it does, here's the always dangerous Spike Stonehand. Boy, what postseason have you been watching? Curveball misses inside, 1 0. Ooh, what's he about to do? He bounces that one. That one goes right to Ramirez, and it's thrown over. So the always dangerous Spike Stonehand grounds out on 2 pitches. 1 out and the bases will be empty for Rob Feaster, who last time saw 1 pitch before getting out. Let's see if he can do any better than that with the bases empty and 1 out here. Last time that pop out to third base maybe gave Robertson some false hopes as to how this was going to go. As that changeup lands down and in, it'll be strike 1. Feaster smokes that one directly at the second baseman. Espinosa, no problem grabbing that. And it'll be out 2. The bases remain empty. Hey, he did slightly better. He took 2 pitches to get out this time.
Nice.
Here comes Sherdlu, who's 0 for 1 on the day. Sherdlu at least actually took a few pitches to get out. Here he watches that fastball up and away. 1-0. And boy, he does not get out of the way of that splitter. It doesn't nick him. But it's 2-0 now. Showing some real bravery there. That fastball is called a strike. Leonard Robertson living on that edge of the zone against the lefties. And the umpire giving him that part of the zone against the lefties is very notable because it means that he can pitch away to them and induce more weak contact. So it'll be a 3-1 count here for Sherdlu. Let's see if Robertson tries to nibble. He goes for the strike, and he gets it. So, once again, this will be a payoff pitch.
Woo!
And it sure looks like Robertson. Ooh, Sherdlu sends that one away. And it looks like Robertson is going to end this inning well short of the 55 pitches that Ted has thrown already. Payoff pitch number 2. He walks him. First walk for Robertson, and that extends the inning for Vidal Santiago, who's 0 for 1. He struck out back in the first, so he's not having a good time, as you can see there. With a man on first and 2 outs, this would be, oh, hello, there's a pickoff attempt there, but Sherdlu back in plenty of time. Let's see if Santiago can get something done here. Sends that one into left field, big fly, easily catchable for Juan Perez. And it'll be 1 pitch for the 3rd out. So the Navegadores will get the walk, and that's all. As we are through 3 innings, they remain on the razor-thin lead, 1-0. Before we continue with the middle of the game, we will have another word from another of our wonderful sponsors. Louisa, the booth is yours.
Thank you. Folks, I want to tell you about books you can obtain. This is a selection of books received by the Bulletin in the last mail steamer. We have Les Miserables by Victor Hugo in 5 cloth-bound volumes. Think how impressive that would look on a shelf. Poems and prose works of Don Leandro F. de Moratin, followed by the poetic and dramatic works of Don Nicholas F. de Moratin, Dutch-bound in Moroccan leather. The Profane History of Spain, General and Particular, by Don Fernando de Castro, professor of the University of Madrid, a declared text, bound in leather with reliefs. The Crime of Chamblas, a great judicial novel by Constant Giraud, luxury edition with engravings. The Genius of Christianity by Chateaubriand in 2 Dutch-bound volumes, Moroccan leather. The Martyrs, or The Triumph of the Christian Faith by Chateaubriand, 1 volume, Dutch binding, also Moroccan leather. A portrait of the author is included. That's nice. The Imitation of Christ by Thomas à Kempis, with spiritual advice and regimen provided by Nuremberg. While we have no information on the number of volumes, the binding style, or the material of the cover for this one, we do know that it's available in a luxury edition, which includes many fine images, and an economical edition, which does not. we have Catholicism in the Presence of Its Dissidents by Father Ezequiel. Excellent books, mostly Christian, you know how it is. But we do have some poems, prose, Les Miserables, of course. Plenty of good books. I want to know more about the profane history of Spain. What are we dealing with there? I'm very curious.
I wonder if that profane history is supposed to be a reference to the secret history of Procopius. That's the famous one that has all the smears on Justinian and Theodora in the Byzantine Empire.
Interesting. Okay.
I wonder if it's in that same genre of sort of telling these stories that aren't that nobody else is going to tell you, and as it turns out, it's really just in the case of Procopius, he hated Justinian because he did not receive some appointment or something. Justinian, they did not get along very well. And so he decided, you know what, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I can write to smear this man, smear his wife.
See, I was going to say, I thought maybe it could be a history of Spain from before Christianity, but
it's possible.
Seems not.
Usually I would think that would be a pagan history. A profane history would usually... The use of the word profane usually implies that there is some kind of unholiness there that is set in contrast. Because that would be, as interesting as that would be, boy. Says Will, a book ad on a baseball game. I wish I lived in the LMP universe.
I love all the ones that subtly let you know that there are engravings or reliefs or a portrait of the author. That's great.
Indeed. I don't think I'd picked up on this before, but I also love that Catholicism in the presence of its dissidents is a Psalm 23 reference. You prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies.
So what could a whole book about it be, I wonder?
Yeah, it had not occurred to me that this is... That if you're a Catholic, this is supposed to sound comforting. Says Matt, I see ads for bookies during baseball all the time. I do like the idea that a bookie is a kind of book as well.
Someone who loves books.
That's right. This is really more than anything. This is just making me... That all I'm thinking of now is finally the term brookie has infiltrated my workplace. They sell a chocolate chip brownie that's called that. Yeah. And all I'm trying to think of is what could bookie be composed of that would be another dessert and a cookie. By the way, hi Matt. We haven't seen you around in a while. Will says, I wonder if Lemmy is in English, Spanish, or French. Was that covered at all? I don't even remember if it was covered in the original commercial before I translated it. I think it was...
It just says that it's in 5 cloth-bound volumes, so we know it's a long book, but it does not say anything about the details.
Yeah, I have to imagine it's in Spanish.
Interesting.
I feel like if it were in French, they would have said it's in French.
A Tale of Two Cities, neither of which are Spanish cities.
I would love it if every localized edition of A Tale of Two Cities used, in its own language, used a different country. Which...
That would be amazing.
So, apparently the French Revolution happened everywhere. With the same people. Like, the guillotine apparently had a much wider historical use than we thought it did.
You know, Terry Pratchett had to change publishers in, I believe it was Poland, in the 80s, I think, when he was just getting started, because they started to put ads in the text of his books, so the characters would be going somewhere, and then one of the characters would say, we should sit down and have some soup. You know who makes the best soup? And then it would be an ad for a Polish soup brand for a while.
If I remember correctly, Chile does the same thing with films that they show on TV. I want to say it's Chile. The Star Wars one where he opens
So good.
when Luke goes down to open the basically the cooler and just takes
Hmm.
out a Chilean beer. That's incredible.
Ah, so good. That is very good.
Anyway, so for the second time today, Ted Balloon gets to face Joseph Kroos, whom he struck out last time, if I remember correctly. That's why he's 0 for 1. This is Ted Balloon at 60 pitches, though. 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Let's see if he can outmatch Kroos again here, as that fastball misses inside 1-0. And Kroos holds up successfully on the changeup away, 2-0. So they're trying a different plan here. First time they went after him aggressively. This time they were giving him absolutely nothing. Fork ball away. I can't even blame him. It's not a bad idea. Kroos is almost certainly going to hit a home run during this series.
Yep.
As that fastball is in there for a strike right down the middle. Gentleman strike. Good to know the Bucheron is also a gentleman. And now, let's see what Ted does. Kroos fouls him off, does him a favor there. And this will bring us to yet another full count. So this will be a payoff pitch.
Woo.
He got him again!
Oh,
A fork
nice.
ball out of the zone, down and away. And for the second time today, Kroos has gone down swinging. So Balloon now, with 1 out on the bases empty, will face Rene Espinosa, who is 1 for 1 on the day. In fact, he's the only guy to get a hit off of Ted so far. And he wants another one as he swings on that and sends it foul into the audience. Fork ball there. You know what's actually really interesting is how spread out the Carolina fans are. They're not in any one section. Maybe a
Yeah.
little bit more behind left field there.
Yeah, that is interesting. I wonder what that's about.
Usually they get their own. Maybe these white shirt fans are all secret Carolina fans.
Oh, true.
They're all
Possible.
they're all embarrassed by the predictions that La Central made. As that fork
They
ball
brought
misses
along
away.
some brown and orange dye in case their boys win, then they can dye up
Yes.
their shirt.
Can you imagine a bunch of fans getting up in the middle of a game and just like squeezing their shirts into a
Ah,
bowl, a bucket of orange dye?
that would be great.
That's a good bet. Curveball in there, 1-2, because you're also dyeing the seat at that point.
Yeah.
Espinosa lines that one into center field, but Ham Underwood is there
Ooh.
on the running catch, and he's got it for out number 2. No
Nice.
second hit for you. Here comes Pedro Ramirez, who is 0 for 1 on the day. He made it tougher on Ted last time he came up, as that forkball misses low, 1-0. And in there with the second forkball, 1-1 evens the count. Ted here displaying a good mix of styles, individual plans for each hitter, as that curveball misses wide, 2-1. And generally, we like to let Ted cook, but man, that's going to fall. It's going to be a base hit for Pedro Ramirez, as nobody's getting to that one. Underwood holds him to the single, and let's see what's going to happen with Luis Holguin, who is 0 for 1 on the day. Man on first and 2 outs. As Ted immediately attempts to pick off there. Here, this isn't an official prediction. I don't want to start a separate one. I don't think I can start a separate one, in fact. Can I?
Mm-mm.
No, I can't. Not until we find out what happens with his over-under. But how many pickoff attempts do you think are going to happen during this at-bat, including the one that just happened?
3. A nice 3.
I'm going to say 6.
Okay.
Okay, fouls that one off. That's strike 1. Interesting. Changeup misses
That's a
low,
big
1-1.
one.
Yeah. Swings Holguin through that fastball, 1-2. Can Ted finish him off here, close out the inning? He sends that one down the right field line, but it is foul, so we'll stay at 1-2. We'll try that again. Pops that one up into a short center right. Shirley running back, and he's got it.
Nice.
Says Matt, I've got a parlay on whether all the predictions pan out. 1 hit, no runs, no errors. 1 runner left on base. Actually, that's such a good idea, though. The only problem is that we can't integrate it into, but having like a Google form of predictions that you could make and then awarding channel points for that.
Mm-hmm.
We should think about this well, we can't because we can't award channel points just for no reason. But
That's a shame.
yeah, we should think about this in 1906. How we can make this happen. Frank De Castillo, 0 for 1. He faces Leonard Robertson, who's threw 3 innings on 44 pitches, 2 hits, and a run, a walk, and a strikeout. I'm guessing this is going to be Frank's bad at bat for the game, although he starts off okay with a fastball inside, 1 and out. Usually it's about the 4th or the 5th inning where he just decides to do a silly one.
Mm-hmm.
Fastball up and away, 2-0.
Gotta keep him guessing.
Exactly. That's what the devil magic is for Diablo Rojo.
Mm-hmm.
Change up in there for a strike, 2-1. De Castillo bounces that one to Edwin Ramos. He makes the throw over from short to Crows at first, and that's out number 1. That's the first out of the inning, so at least it took him 4 pitches to do it. And here comes Benji Valdez, who is responsible for 1 of the 2 hits the Navegadores have been able to get, both of them coming from guys who are currently hitting .266 in the postseason. Coincidence? Yes. 1 out and the base is empty, as the rain has apparently stopped. Sure. Robertson sends the slider in there. Down the middle, it's 0-1. Benji does not trigger. He singled, stole second, and came around to score on Wally Bach's second best hit of the postseason, because he's already hit a dinger. So that fastball misses away, 1-1. Benji flies that one out down the right field line, and it crosses into foul territory, so it'll be 1-2. We'll keep going here. Still 1-2. Slider, fastball, and sinker. Let's see what happens here with Robertson on the 2 strikes, and he gets him! Valdez swings and misses on a sinker away. It's the second strikeout for Robertson, and after back-to-back 4-pitch at-bats, he will now face Wally Bach, who's 1 for 1 with a ribby. Let's see if Wally can do anything to even slightly even out the pitch count. I mean, I'm not... The thing is, I don't want to be worried, but I am.
Yeah, understandable.
Fastball in there, low in the zone, strike 1. Bach fouls that one off. What was that? How did his bat make contact with the ball? They were going in opposite directions.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's 2 strikes for Leonard Robertson. Let's see what happens here. 2-strike pitch. Bounced right to second baseman, whose name I am currently forgetting. Am I going to remember before I... Espinosa, right. Sends it over first, and Bach was not going to be able to run out that grounder. So, clean bottom of the 4th for Naguabo, and Ted back to work here. We're going to just start warming up Pino, just in case, and... We're going to go to Norman, just in case. Ted Balloon, 4 innings, 78 pitches, 2 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and he faces Ramos, Harrison, and Cano. Ramos drew a walk last time he came up. And Ted hopefully will see the guys in the bullpen and decide that he actually wants to win this game on his own, after all. As he misses low with that fastball, 1 and out. Fastball is in there for a strike, 1-1. That fastball is low, 2-1. That one is hit down the foul line. Is that also a fastball? No, it's a changeup. And now he's getting interesting. What's he going to do with the 2-strike pitch here? That is hit to Valdez. No, he can't get to it. It rolls out into center field, and that'll be a leadoff single for Edwino Ramos. He's been on base twice today. The Naguabo fans, pretty muted about it, but they don't like it. And you can hear the Carolina fans cheering.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes Howell Harrison to see if he can move Ramos over with a man on first and no outs. Harrison with his second sacrifice hit. Ted has it. He doesn't throw to second, so he'll retire the trailing runner at first there. Ramos will take second, and Cano will come up. He's 0 for 1 on the day. 1 out and a man on second. We've seen this before. Wait, I'm sorry. Ricardo Cano's nickname is Grodd? As in the gorilla?
How very strange.
Fastball misses, 1-0. I don't think he played in any of the North American leagues. That's very weird.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't really hear a name like that in a Spanish-speaking place.
Maybe it's like a brand name? I don't know, a Scandinavian brand of some sort.
Chewing tobacco, perhaps?
Curveball misses low, 2-0. Boy, Ted, just, here we go. 3 pitches in, 3 balls. And he walks him. Third walk for Ted. Puts 2 on with 1 out for Juan Perez, who's 0 for 2. You can only play with fire so long, Ted. Of course, Perez lined out last time. He got very lucky there, as that forkball is low, 0-1. That forkball misses low and inside, 1-1. And once again, he misses. Perez checks his swing in time on the fastball, 2-1. Perez fouls that one off. Huge favor for Ted, who can now maybe go to a curveball or a changeup here. Perez hits that one to second base. Shirley goes to second for 1. And inexplicably, they do not try for the double play. So runners on the corners with 2 outs for Connor McDonald, who is 0 for 2 on the day. Another guy, Grodd brand Scrod. Well, as the old, that's Matt in the chat, as they say, the famous Boston joke. The guy gets into the cab and asks where he can get Scrod. And the cab driver replies, I've heard that question asked many times, but I've never heard it in the pluperfect subjunctive.
It's a real linguist joke.
Yeah, sure is. Especially because in English, guess what? There is no pluperfect subjunctive.
Who needs it? That's what I say.
Agreed. McDonald comes up with runners on the corners and 2 outs, and he misses the curveball 0-1. Let's see, what are they going to call that? They are going to say that fastball misses inside 1-1. McDonald checks a swing successfully on the changeup, 2-1. And Ted is just nowhere near the zone. He does know that Kroos is up next if he walks this guy, right?
Does he? Does he ever think ahead like that?
He's about to hit 100 pitches here in the without finishing the 5th here.
Yeah.
3-1 count. McDonald just did him the favor of his life. Pops up in foul territory. Long, easy can of corn there for Rob Feaster. And unbelievably, Ted has worked his way out of yet another jam. The score remains 1-0, and the Navegadores have a chance to tack on some more.
Incredible.
Here comes Graham Underwood. He's 0 for 1 on the day, facing Leonard Robertson, who, at 55 pitches over 4 innings, has been a model of efficiency. 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Will that continue, is the question, especially once the lineup turns over again. Underwood, liner down the right field line, and he'll be on first.
Nice. Oh, yes.
Very well done. The question is, can he keep moving? And next question is, do we let Declan Milne? No, we don't.
You don't trust him.
No, I don't. Now hitting for the...
Okay, let's take a brief moment to acknowledge that you are bringing in a pinch hitter for your pinch hitter right now.
Well, designated hitter, but yes, I understand where you're going with this.
It's very funny.
It is. Now batting for the Navegadores de Naguabo, number 17, Pablo Salmeron. I have to actually say, the use of pinch hitters in the playoffs has been very refreshing because you don't tend to see a lot of teams during the season will obviously wait until very late in the game to get their pinch hitters in. The Murciélagos were regularly putting in pinch hitters in the third inning. If they thought, here's a chance, we've got 2 on, 1 out, let's do it. Let's bring those 2 runs in, get the lead. So they were playing to win the game in front of them. And in fact, almost all the mistakes that the Navegadores made during that series was when they played to win the series, not the game.
Makes sense. Now, if you bring in a pinch hitter, you have to let them play the whole rest of the game, or how does that work? Exactly?
No, you can replace them as well.
Okay.
Although, Pablo might eventually move to catcher. And if that happens, then the team would lose the designated hitter spot. So if a pitcher's turn came around to bat, they would have to bat for themselves.
I see.
Except I don't know how that would work. Presumably there'd be like a double switch situation or something like that. I'm not sure. Anyway, point being, you'd kind of have to do this interesting thing where the pitcher would come up to bat. Actually, I don't know if he could I don't know if he could catch in the same game if he comes in as a DH. Well, hopefully it won't come to that. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Anyway, no outs, man on first. Can Pablito move Ham over some? They're going to pitch him out, and they're going to catch him. They have learned absolutely nothing.
I do like the flare sliding in even though you're already out.
And now Salmeron, with the bases empty, 1 out and a 1-0 count, has to figure out what he's going to do, as that's a big fly ball and an easy catch for center fielder Cano out there. Ugh. They really never learned their lesson with this stuff.
No.
Spike Stonehand.
The eternal optimists.
Spike Stonehand, 0 for 1. And I gotta say, this explains a lot, because Carolina is one of the few teams that does not live by the stolen base as a method of scoring runs. And here's why. They can prevent opposing teams from doing it.
Yeah.
Change up. Up and in, 1-0. Can Stonehand do anything here? As that sinker is low and outside, 2-0. That sinker is in there. Strike 1. 2-1 count. Stonehand fouls that one away. It'll be 2-2 after this with 2 outs. Let's see if he can at least keep the at-bat going a little bit. Nope. He can't check his swing and goes around, so the side's retired. Ham's leadoff single is all they'll get in that one. We're through 5 innings, and if Ted can hold on to the lead, he's in line for the win here. But in his way is one Joseph Kroos, whom he has struck out twice today. You have to imagine Kroos is not happy about this. Might even say he's quite Kroos about it.
It's true.
98 pitches for Ted Balloon over 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Can he make the magic work one more time? Changeup hits the dirt, 1-0. Kroos makes contact with that, but he sends it to Valdez, who grounds him out at first. I guess that fastball got him a little Kroosed up. I've been sitting on that one. I've been sitting on that one since the beginning of the game.
Very good.
I've got 2 more locked and loaded, so we'll see.
Okay.
1 out and the base is empty for Rene Espinosa, who is 1 for 2 on the day. Matt did not enjoy the pun either, in case you're wondering. Changeup in there for a strike, 0-1. Ooh, lands down the right field line, but that's going to be foul. So it'll be 0-2. Ooh, Espinosa is not going to be happy about that one. You can tell because he stopped running and he's just looking at it in utter disgust. 2 strikes. Let's see if Balloon will finish him off here. Nope. He misses way inside with that changeup. That was so close to his face. 1-2 count instead. And Ted repeats it, this time with a fork ball. 2-2. He's just allergic to finishing on 2 strikes, is what he is. And that's what you get for doing that. Underwood has to run all the way from deep center to hold him to a single. And Rene Espinosa will be 2 for 3 today as Carolina officially takes the lead in the hit column. Here comes Pedro Ramirez, who got a base hit last time. Ted currently striving to make this his last inning. As that's on the outside corner, the changeup 0-1. Ramirez fouls that one off, 0-2. Let's see, will he do any better this time around? Says, well, my chat locked up, but I'm with Matt. That's the campaign slogan of the no puns in no puns during the game. Ooh, they do not like that was almost a wall pitch. 1-2 count. Got him! Pedro Ramirez goes down swinging. It's the 6th strikeout for Ted Balloon as he now faces Luis Holguin, who is over 2 on the day. He's had so much luck, Ted, over these 6 innings. As he throws to first. Holguin hits that one into left field. That should be going foul. No! It hangs in the wind, which for once is blowing in the right direction. And Santiago is able to catch it. So Carolina gets nothing on their base hit. And the Navegadores have another chance. Will they use it? No. Says Will, fundraising. How much do we have to pledge to the LNP for no more crow strokes? I mean, I think it would be more profitable for you to threaten to pull your funding if I kept making those jokes. Because I think otherwise, it'll be your crows to bear.
Oh, no. He's getting worse.
That's the other one I've been sitting on since the beginning of the game. Anyway, so here we go. Bottom of the 6th, Feaster, Sherlew, and Santiago against Leonard Robertson. 5 innings, 63 pitches, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. I remember distinctly once volleying. I was told that my AP English teacher had managed to do 12 puns in a row about guns. So things like, can we do a bullet list that will depend on the caliber of your argument or something like that?
Oh, boy, yes.
And I managed to volley with him something like 35 on banking terms, basically. Things like deposits and so on.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I believe it. This seems like your origin story.
Exactly. Fastball, low in the zone, 0-1. I wonder if he's still alive. He was old then. And second pitch to Rob is flown out into left field. That is just hanging out there waiting for Perez, who's got it. Says Matt, I think he's got his wires crossed. Oh, seems like the chat is at cross purposes.
Oh, man.
As that curveball is lined out to left field where it's easily caught. Here comes Sherlew, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. 1 out, bases empty. You really cannot be mad at Robertson here if you're Carolina. Will says, wow, it's my bedtime already. Strike called on the splitter there, 0-1. Check swing on the curveball, so that'll even the count 1-1. I really hope people who do not generally watch the LMP get to watch this game, because they're going to expect that this is something we do. That every game we have just a non-stop storm of puns going. Just don't forget to cross off today on your calendar. Oof. 1-2 count.
I feel like you have to work them in to conversation to really make them have the most psychological impact.
Oh, agreed. Yeah. Slider is, yeah, if you just, if you have to, for a pun to really hurt you, it can't just be an independent pun that's got nothing else. You have to come across it in just a context. 2-2 count.
It feels like it's my bedtime now.
As that slider is fouled off. This is a good at bat, and we're not paying attention to it. He's gotten 5 pitches out of Robertson. Sherlew, I think, is responsible for all of the longest at bats we've seen in this game.
Amazing.
Fouls off that splitter, 2-2. That's what he's good at. That's why he's number 2 on the lineup sheet, because he can basically just harass pitchers into doing a bad job eventually. But here he grounds out for out number 2, Espinosa to Kroos. And that's out number 2. Says Matt, I think we've crossed the Rubicon.
Duh.
Here comes Vidal Santiago, who's over 2. 2 outs, and base is empty. And here we go. Anbar will be in the pen, as Santiago fouls that one off, 0-1. We might need him if Ted decides to continue walking every other hitter he faces. Sinker misses outside there. For a second, forgot which hand Vidal Santiago bats with, which is interesting. Splitter lands in the dirt, 2-1. And Santiago swings completely out of the zone for the slider. No idea what he was doing there. Looks very lost. But he still gets one more strike. Can he make use of it here, is the question. Well, he does extend the at-bat as he fouls that one up. And he's got another pitch. So pitch number 6 here. Good work from Sherlew and Santiago to at least get more pitches in. But Santiago strikes out for the second time today. This might be Lennon Robertson's best game of the postseason so far. Let's see here. 6 innings. He's reduced his ERA by 27 ticks so far in this one. Says Matt, are there many LNP switch hitters? You know, there's not a ton. There's quite a few on... I'm trying to think. There's one team. I want to say it was the Murciélagos, but it might have been... No, it was the Guavaleros. They have like 4 switch hitters in their starting lineup.
Makes sense for a 8-armed mascot.
So let's see here. Well, he did pitch a complete game shutout in his first start of the postseason with 7 strikeouts and everything. Sorry, I said a shutout. The run was unearned, so it wasn't his fault. His ERA was 0.00. Then he got lit up in the next game by the Golondrinas, 8 runs. And since then, he's allowed at least 2 in every start. This is the least he's allowed so far. So this is exciting. We'll see what happens. In the top of the 7th, Ted Balloon will be allowed to start. We think he's earned that as he's at only 110 pitches. Every modern baseball manager watching this immediately cringed when I said only 110 pitches. 6 innings.
Character.
4 hits, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts, and he'll face pinch hitter number 3, Angel Chagoya. I wonder if he's related to Hernan Chagoya. He's from Isabela. He did very well in limited duty over the last couple of years. This year he's been just a smidge above average. He's replacing Edwino Ramos, which is an interesting choice. Not what I would do, but that's why I'm not managing their team. And who knows? There can't be that many guys named Chagoya, right?
You wouldn't think so.
He's from the opposite side of the island, so I mean, they could be cousins.
Should we have another word? What time? Where are we at? Have we started the next inning?
We have not officially, so let's do that.
Okay.
Let's have another word from our sponsors. Louisa, the booth is yours.
Thank you. What shall we hear about today, folks? Ooh, one of my favorites. I want to tell you about Salvador Alsina's Golden Niceties. This is a military equipment establishment with a full assortment of sabers, swords, badges for officers of the Army and Navy, medals and decorations, insignia for revenue and telegraph officers, coats of arms, kepis, cockades, Teresian caps, regulation headgear for the Merchant Marine, Capitoline Guard, and other departments and offices of the insular government. Wool stamps depicting coats of arms for flags. Assortment of sheet music. And it's located in the Plaza General Rojas in, of course, where else? Puerto Rico. I love this. I love the idea. I've said before, impersonating someone from the government, that's running a long con, but we don't have to get into that. I also like the idea, the very charming Norman Rockwell kind of idea of getting together and making your own flags, and you're getting the music and the proper hats and everything so you could have a little marching band. So on important state holidays, you could really celebrate the island. I love that idea. Build a bandstand down at your town square. Charming. It's funny to think of buying the wool insignia for a flag and then sewing it on yourself. So I guess you just would get fabric or dye fabric to the correct color and then add the insignia to make it the flag. I suppose that only works for flags that have a crest.
Granted, I would imagine that for if you're an officer, for example, presumably you employ a tailor who will do it for you.
Yes, that would make sense. But if you have to make your own flag, who's doing that? Small towns, I'm assuming. I have no idea.
That's very true, yeah. Well, and by the way, I wanted to mention it's very interesting to say specifically the insular government in that
Mm-hmm.
commercial because that implies something. The insular government was officially speaking, and the insular forces, the government that took office in 1871 when Puerto Rico became free.
Right.
So basically, where I'm going with this is that is not the government, or not the official term, for the government of 1901, which was under a different constitution that was
Oh.
created after they kicked the United States Army out, basically.
Mm.
So, so it's funny because using the antiquated term may be a reflection of maybe a reflection of the speaker of Salvador Alcina's political priorities, basically. Might mean he was a bit of an
Ah,
old head, shall we say.
that makes sense for someone who has a collection of Army Navy surplus, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's the weird bit. Most of the institutions state, but it would be, instead of it being the Insular Forces, which is what they used to be called, it would be the Army of the Republic of Puerto Rico, or things like that.
Mm.
But most of the actual aesthetic didn't change. Although I think the
Yeah.
Capitoline Guard used to be there's a long tradition in Spanish derived colonies of using black for sort of special police, basically. I mean, I guess
Hmm.
there's a tradition everywhere of doing that. Um,
Hmm.
but after that, they actually changed the colors and they were sky blue in the 20th century.
Oh, wow. Okay. I guess everyone likes a nice cockade or some shiny brass buttons.
They do love that. Yeah. I would imagine at this point you're seeing pretty good preening from certain units. I want to say this is where the Joyeros, which is the elite artillery unit of the army, started
Hmm.
really wilding out with its uniforms. Because, after all, they're named after crabs, so you can only imagine what they were getting up to.
Yeah, love that. I love a nice, complicated hat. It's always great in an official uniform.
We're just letting everybody on our socials know that, hey, this game is getting very tense. This is getting, as they would say in, ironically, the United States Navy, the pucker factor is increasing.
Yeah, true.
And here I see Matt said, just copy your baseball team's logo and add some Latin. Boom, instant crest.
It's true.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Back to the top of the seventh, Ted Balloon. 110 pitches over 6 innings. We covered all of this. We're going to see what he can do against Chagoya. We presume Harrison and Cano, because I think King is an even worse hitter this year. Wasn't always true, but here we are. Chagoya watches that fastball miss high and inside, 1-0. Misses low with the fastball, 2-0. Boy, you really don't need to be... My lord. Misses low and away, 3-0. Not one of the better hitters on the club, and he's hitting all of .530 in the playoffs with 1 run batted in, and you're just letting him have first base. Someday they will have to study Ted's pitching decisions. I would imagine they already do.
He doesn't make any. He works on vibes. He's just out there. He's in the pitching zone. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yep. Balloon has now walked 4 in this game, struck out 6. And he will now face Howell Harrison, who has done a sac bunt every time he's come up. He does it again, down the first baseline, and they are not even close to ready for it. So for the 3rd time today, Howell Harrison moves a runner over to second successfully.
Man.
For the record, Harrison has not yet recorded an at-bat in this game.
That is wild.
Will says, it's so cute that Dro thinks Ted actually makes decisions. Good point. Here comes Cano. He's 0 for 1 with a walk on the day, which he got the last time he came up. Ted is the Bird Fidrich of the early 20th century. Good reference. Fastball is, for once, it's Ted getting the generous call there against the lefty, but then he proceeds to miss low with ball 1. And here we go. That is swung on, lifted into center field. Is that going to fall? It does. It falls in front of Underwood. The tying run was around third. Can he make that throw in time? He's had some trouble with it. He's safe. Angel Chagoya ties the game here.
Wow.
And Ricardo Cano's base hit ties the game. It's a 1-1 game here in the top of the 7th. As Ted, in the top of the 7th here, just cannot stop letting runners onto second, and it finally comes back to bite him. Underwood does his best to make that throw, but it is
close.
not in time.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, it would appear that Angel Chagoya was injured. He strained his oblique sliding home, and he'll be out for the next several weeks. That's really unfortunate. He sacrificed his body to give his team a tie there. So with Cano on second base and 1 out, here comes Juan Perez, who's 0 for 3. Do we go to the pen here is the question.
He has pitched a lot of pitches.
Yeah, he's still not in the yellow-green zone, which means that he's getting really tired. But,
Yeah.
I don't
He's
know.
also not doing a very good job today. And not even, sometimes doing a good job. Just not
Right.
really.
Yes, that is very true. You know what? Usually I get in trouble by trying to save the bullpen. Let's not do that this time.
Okay.
Now pitching for the Navegadores de Naguabo, number 10, Kareem Anbar. 11 and a third innings over the course of the postseason. 6 hits, an earned run, 5 walks, 18 strikeouts on the ERA of 0.79. Anbar is a sinker slider soldier spy guy. Did very well during the regular season, and then has effectively turned into his team's closer during the playoffs. As he is, I believe, he's got 7 saves so far, and oh boy, they switched the hitter. As that sinker misses low, he's now facing Aubrey Handrahan, who has had 3 hits, including a home run, in 8 at-bats during the postseason, 2 runs batted in. And Will says, and I win the under. Thanks, Ted. Yes, thank you for reminding me to confirm that. He, in fact, did not hit anybody.
Amazing. He knew we were talking about him.
Exactly. Now, this is a dangerous hitter. Handrahan was the other big home run guy, the other big bucheron. So, Anbar's got to pitch around him some. Sinker up and in, and he gets the called strike.
Oh, Will, you got on my pesos.
Will says, I was the only one with faith.
Yes.
Slider inside. Handrahan hits that one foul. So Anbar should have him right where he wants him. As Handrahan fouls that one off into his own dugout. He fouls that one off as well. Oh boy, if he's got the timing down, this could be dangerous. This could turn into a 3-1 game very quickly. 3 fouls in a row on the slider and the sinker. Handrahan hits it up left field and foul. 4 fouls in a row. So far Carolina has actually done a very good job countering any choices that have been made by the Naves. This is a 7-pitch at bat now, and they know Anbar can't afford to keep throwing. So he misses inside with a sinker. That brings us to a full count, and you know what that means. This will be a payoff pitch. And he got him!
Nice!
Handrahan strikes out on the sinker, and they're going to keep rolling with righties against Anbar here. He's got his 1 strikeout, and he will now face pinch hitter number 24, Alfonso Renteria, who is 1 for 5 in the postseason. He must have drawn a walk at some point. Cano on second here with 2 down as that sinker misses low, 1-0. He sends that one into center field. Looks like it's going to be chased down. Who's going to get it? It will be Valdez. He calls for it and makes the catch. And Anbar gets them out of it without any further damage. So the Tumbabrazos even the score at 1, and we head into the bottom of the 7th. And things have changed here very quickly. Crow's still at first, but Natalino Diaz, number 22, will now be standing in at left field, where he is not a good defender. Most interestingly, Aubrey Handrahan is playing shortstop. Luisa, do you want to tell the audience what his rating at shortstop appears to be for defense?
Nope. Can't find it.
It's not. It's a hyphen.
Oh, I see. Okay.
He has literally never played shortstop.
Is this his, he always wanted to? And
I guess.
Is
It's weird to do that in a tied game in the national championship, but sure, why not? Let's goof around.
Yeah.
Leonard Robertson, 6 innings of 3 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 4 strikeout ball, and he will face Frank de Castillo, who's over 2 on the day.
Woo!
Oh boy, butt rock. Strike called on that sinker, 0-1. Can Frank get something going? They badly need this. Frank chops down foul, 0-2 now. He rolls down to Handrahan, who drops it, predictably, because he is not a shortstop. So
He's doing his best. It's his first day.
Seriously. By the way, 93 on a shortstop is a big number. That's a wild number for a shortstop. Here comes number 6, Benji Valdez, who's 1 for 2. Number 6, normal number for a shortstop. As there's a pickoff attempt to first. De Castillo getting back on that. Another pickoff attempt to first, and he'll be back on that one as well. Here comes Benji Valdez. De Castillo not going on the splitter inside, 1-0. Curveball is in there. Strike 1, 1-1. Man on first with no outs. As Benji Valdez watches strike 2 get called on the fastball away. Right now he's in danger of striking out without the bat ever leaving his shoulder. Is that going to happen? He rolls that one to first. It's a throw to Handrahan, and he drops it again. There will be 2 on with no outs here. The go-ahead run and insurance. Both on with no one out for Wally Bach, who's 1 for 2. Both on errors here.
Wow.
This is a perplexing decision by Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm
nervous about it.
Well, Theo Boyce is not a good third baseman anymore. Fabian Sandoval, Nicolas Maldonado. Basically, they're doing this to keep his bat in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Rene Espinosa, you could... So there is a world in which Fabian Sandoval has at least played second base and could be okay at it. There is a world in which this works, but you could... Wait, no, this is easy. You move Espinosa over to short, you move Kroos over to second, and then Handrahan can take first. This isn't difficult. I don't understand why they're not doing that. But here comes Wally Bogg, and hopefully he'll make him pay for that mistake. First pitch. De Castillo going for third. It's a double steal. And De Castillo will be out. Valdez advancing to second. I don't know that was a wise decision, but here we go. Bach watches that curveball miss low, so it'll be 1-1 now. That also misses low. Fastball that time, 2-1. Bach hits that one up the middle. It's gonna get... Nope, Espinosa has it. Throws over to first, and it'll be a ground out. So there'll be 2 outs. Valdez on third as the go-ahead run. And we're going to put Varela back in the pen. Let's see if Underwood can get something going here. He had that first pitch single. If he could do another one of those, it would be much appreciated here. First pitch to him is a sinker. High and away. 1-0. Does that pitch miss? Yep. Sinker misses low. 2-0. Robertson. Hopefully coming apart a little bit at the seams here as he's watched his team, his infield, just disappoint him. He's gotten very lucky in this inning, for sure. As he fouls off that curveball, 2-1. Ham in a big at-bat here. Hits that one, line drive, center field. That's catching all the air in the world, and it should be enough for Cano to grab it. He's got it. He shows hand-to-hand how it's done, and we are through 7. This game remains tied as the Navegadores strand 1. It occurs to me that if De Castillo had not gotten caught stealing third, Underwood could have at least sack-flied them over to second and third, and then Salmeron would have been up. As Will says, I hate baseball. All right, this is going to be the most interesting at-bat of the game. Joseph Kroos, who is a very good pitcher against, against lefties, facing Kareem Anbar, who is a less good pitcher, but still very good against righties. He's already pitched 2 outs. He's got a K on the day. Let's see if Kroos is finally going to go deep for the first time today. As that sinker misses, 1-0. So does that one. 2-0. Really trying to get that weak contact, and Kroos is not having it. Sinker misses inside, 3-0.
All around the corners.
Indeed. Throws the gentleman strike right down the middle, 3-1, and good to know that, again, Kroos could have swung at that and taken it deep and didn't. He hits that one foul, 3-2, so Kroos goes to a full count here. Let's see what happens. This will be a payoff pitch. Kroos fouls that one off as well. Stonehand, for some reason, goes to catch it. Payoff pitch number 2. Can he do it? Can Ambar get him? Pops him up. That one will make the stands. Stonehand watches it fall into the audience. Yes. Well, he's staring down the, one Carolina fan in that section. What is happening right now? What are you talking about? He overflew the stands. Somebody's, buggy out there just got de-roofed.
That's incredible. That's like a home run in the wrong direction.
Exactly. And he got him. Anbar gets him to swing and miss at a sinker. His third strikeout for Kroos and second for Anbar. He will now face Rene Espinosa, who is 2 for 3 on the day. As Anbar there, let's see, misses low with a sinker. We're going to start getting Chet Hancock warmed up, which I don't know if that's a good idea, but we're going to try it anyway. As that pitch goes by, a sinker low again. Says Matt, that was a 6 in cricket. Espinosa checks a swing, but that's a strike all the way, 2-1. Am I wrong, or is Kareem Anbar have red hair?
Is he?
I think so. But he got de-roofed. I want that on a t-shirt. All right. There's our newest challenge as De Castillo catches that one. Yeah, see if you can look closely. It might just be auburn, I guess, or like a coppery brown, but it's not as if red hair is unknown among North Africans. So Pedro Ramirez, 1 for 3 on the day. He gets the slider in there for a strike. 0-1. Not afraid of Ramirez there. Ramirez checks the swing on the sinker. 1-1. And you gotta give Anbar a lot of props for being willing to sidearm these pitches inside on righties. 2-1 pitch. A sinker. He hits it. It goes to Valdez. He runs to his right. Throws over to first. And Kareem Anbar has pitched 5 outs of baseball in this game. He's given his team everything he can. The Tumbabrazos couldn't get anything against him. And it'll be Varela probably in the top of the 9th. Salmeron will lead off the bottom of the 8th against Leonard Robertson, who's still at under 100 pitches over 7 innings. 3 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Pablo Salmeron 0 for 1 on the day. Let's see if he can do a little bit better here. As not on that first pitch, he can't. Swings and misses through a fastball, 1-1. This would be a very bad time for Pablito's swing and miss tendencies to come back as he misses the fastball away. He fouls that one off at least, so he'll stay at 2 strikes. Can he do any better than that after he missed contact on a curveball down the middle? My God. Struck out on a, looks like that was a sinker once again. Robertson benefiting from that extra zone against the lefties, but here comes Spike Stonehand. He's over 2 on the day. Can he do anything? As Robertson now has 5 strikeouts on the day. Misses with a sinker, 1-0. No, we don't need Varela to be ready yet. Chet, oh, he's ready to go. All right. 1-0 count. Stonehand fouls that one off at the plate, 1-1. This is a tense one, as that changeup misses for 2-1. Stonehand checks a swing in time. He doesn't go, and it's a 3-1 count. Can he get the walk? He does! Robertson's second walk of the game goes to Spike Stonehand, and here comes Rob Feaster, who's over 3 on the day. He's had a really tough time with it over his last 2 games. Let's see if this is the time for him to put on his superhero cape. Hits that one foul, so he wants it. He wants that moment, but that sinker is hit too far down the left field line, and it'll be on 1. Can he do any better on this pitch? He hits it foul the other way. Boy, the timing is just off for him on these pitches. He's seen Robertson so many times, and yet... Whoa! That is lined into center field, but it is catchable easily for Cano. That was a hard-hit ball, but Cano was ready for it. So it'll be 2 outs, and here comes Shirley. He's over 2, drawn a walk on the day. Maybe he can at least get something done against Robertson here. Robertson throws a low strike on the fastball on 1. Misses away with the splitter, 1-1. Apparently that got called a strike. Again, Robertson benefits from that extra zone. 1-2 count. Shirley hits that one high, hits that one deep. You have got to be kidding me. That ball is out of here. Sail away. The font of wisdom hits a 72-pointer. It is 105 meters out of this field. His first of the postseason, and the Navegadores now lead 3-1.
Wow. Incredible.
What a moment for Eto'o and Shirley.
Oh, wow.
Not even a particularly hard-hit ball, pardon me, but just enough to make it over Luis Holguin's head.
I've never even seen that little home run trough before.
Absolutely incredible. What a scene here at La Timonera as Shirley with his first, it might even be, no, I think it's his second postseason home run, if I remember correctly. Let's see here. No, it is his first. I was wrong. His first postseason home run, and it gets his team ahead here in the bottom of the second with 2 outs. That's a lot of pressure off Vidal Santiago and Hector Varela when he comes into the game to pitch later. So Vidal Santiago, he's 0 for 3 on the day. Let's see if he'll extend the inning. Leonard Robertson quite shaken, I would imagine, after that.
Yeah. I would be.
So slider is in there, strike 1. Well, if he's shaking, he ain't showing it. Goes right for the first strike. And the second. So maybe, if anything, he's just angry. Hey! Baldovas showed up just to see that happen. That's amazing. I'm so glad you could be here for this. I always feel sad when somebody's guy does something amazing and they're not in the audience. So very glad you're here. What a moment. Because he's not usually a power hitter. But he just nailed that ball. 2-2 count. Honestly, if they hold this lead, he might be in line for player of the game. As that slider misses outside, so it'll be a full count, and suddenly Robertson is the one having trouble finding the zone. This will be a payoff pitch, once again. Santiago fouls that one off and says, "You're not done with me yet, buddy." Payoff pitch number 2. Hits that one into right field. Is that going to land foul? I think it will. So it'll be payoff pitch number 3. Can he at least get Santiago out? He's been so effective against him, and he can't. Vidal Santiago gets the walk. Here comes Frank de Castillo, who's 0 for 3 on the day. Let's see if they want to torture Robertson some more here. 2 outs and a man on first. Santiago's not going to run himself out of the problem. As that's in there. Fastball, strike 1. He's still throwing first pitch strikes. He's not afraid of that at all. Robertson misses outside with the sinker, 1-1. He hits that one down the right field line. Holguin chasing it down. He'll be there in time. And it's out number 3. We are through 8 innings. The Navegadores have finally taken a 2-run lead here in the bottom of the 8th. And it'll be Hector Varela coming into this game to try and close it out against Holguin, Natalino Diaz, and Howell Harrison. Holguin is 0 for 3. Hector Varela has thrown 8 2/3 innings. He's got a win and something like 6 saves in the postseason. That doesn't sound right, but I feel like it might be. Oh, no, I think it's... No. I know what it is. It's 6 saves is what he's had over his past 14 games, I believe. He's had 1 save and 1 blown save and the win in the course of the postseason. He will face Luis Holguin, 5 strikeouts, ERA of 1.04. Let's see if Holguin can get anything going against him. Hector Varela during the season had 22 saves, which led the leagues, as that sinker misses inside, 1-0. Varela also a sinker slider guy. As that's going to be in there, it's a strike on the sinker, which they called that a half swing. That was a full swing. That was a swing and a half. Big error behind that ball as he gets underneath it. Valdez calls for it as he's the tallest guy on the infield, and he's got it. The big boy shortstop for Naguabo retires him on the flyout. Here comes Natalino Diaz, dangerous hitter. 3 for 7 in the postseason with an on-base percentage of .500. So Varela will have to be careful here. Oh, look at him. Orange socks and orange shoes. He looks like he's getting his, he looks like he's wearing official Home Depot footwear.
I do like that. I do like these uniforms. They're very chocolate and peanut butter.
Yeah. Slider is in there. He gets underneath it, and Valdez once again calling for it. He's waiting for it. We're all waiting for it. And it's actually Bog. He says, I got this.
Nice.
And here comes Howell Harrison as the last man for his ball club, hopefully anyway. He can't sack bunt this time. He can't do it. Let's see what happens.
Will he try?
That would be very funny, but he's actually a terrible bunter without anybody on base. Strike 1 with a slider. 0-1. I would argue he wasn't even that good a bunter with people on base. He just got lucky.
Nah.
Slider misses low, 1-1. On any of those, Ted should have been able to retire the lead runner. Slider misses inside, 2-1. Varela suddenly getting a little bit funky here. Oh, how Harrison! Base hit into right field.
Wow.
Is he
Barely.
going to try for second? He's going to try for second, and Frank de Castillo
Sure
does
is.
your favorite thing and waits forever to get rid of the ball.
Yeah.
So they'll extend the inning on that one.
He's just being polite. We all know it's over.
Here's open anyway. As here comes Ricardo Cano, who's 1 for 2 with a ribby. Varela now has to batten down the hatches and hold him here. 9 pitches. He's got a chance to close out this game still. Cano did quite okay with runners in scoring position, or crispy rispies, as Cano takes that strike on the inside, 0-1. Swings through the sinker, 0-2. Down to his last strike. Varela doesn't go for it. He throws a sinker low and away and misses. And on the 1-2 count, misses inside with the second sinker. It's 2-2 now. Can he finish Cano off here? Cano fouls that one off. So we'll stay at 2-2. He misses low with a slider to bring us to a full count, and you know what that means. This will be a payoff pitch. He fouls that one off. Okay, we're going payoff pitch number 2. For the love of Christ. Payoff pitch number 3.
Right?
And it's a walk.
Come on.
Sure chose an interesting spot for his first walk of the postseason, and here comes Aubrey Handrahan, who's 0 for 1. He struck out back in the 7th inning. With 2 on and 2 outs, he could make life very difficult here, as he represents the go-ahead run. Let's see here. Varela, strike 1 on the sinker. Just going to check something real quick for Varela. Okay, he doesn't give up a ton of long balls. Wouldn't Hancock be better for this? No, he would not. Is there even a better option at the moment? No. So, here it is. We're rolling with him. 0-1. Sliders in there for strike 2. Once again, down to one last strike. Can they get it? He misses inside with the slider. 1-2. Misses away with the sinker. 2-2. I cannot understand for the life of me why the Navegadores feel the need to make it this difficult on themselves.
Yeah.
Boadavash asks, will leaving him in at short pay off? It very well might. But not this time it won't. He strikes him out with a sinker, and Varela notches the strikeout to win the first game of the Campeonato Nacional. Naguabo beats Carolina 3-1 and takes the 1-0 lead in the Campeonato Nacional Puertorriqueño. You can see Frank de Castillo jumping for joy and Vidal Santiago jumping for joy. And I would note that neither of them deserve to be doing that.
They're like, we're part of the team too. Hooray.
That's right. Ted Balloon, 6 1/3 innings of 5-hit ball, 1 earned run. But of course, it was a clutch moment from the font of wisdom himself because, boy, this was a weak offensive game from the Naves. 4 hits, including that home run. 1 hit from Benji, and then he eventually scored. 1 hit from Bach, which scored that run, and 1 hit from Underwood. They couldn't even get anything going in terms of stolen bases. Valdez stole his 10th base, but Del Castillo and Underwood got caught. They will probably have to either lower the frequency with which they try to steal or massively increase it because eventually they have to get through.
Yeah.
Hector Varela gets his second save of the postseason. He pitched an inning, allowed a hit, a walk, and a strikeout because he just likes to work out that way, I guess. Kareem Anbar gets his first win of the postseason as he pitched 5 perfect outs, including 2 strikeouts, proving yet again why he's such a key piece for this ball club. Ted Balloon, 6 1/3, a bit of an iffy start for him. 5 hits, 1 earned run, and 4 walks to 6 strikeouts. But I will say, he didn't hit anybody, and he didn't throw a wild pitch.
How did he get player of the game, though?
Great question. By the way,
should I go to our home run here?
Yeah, it should, because he's the one who actually won the game.
Yeah.
At any rate, Shirley said, but Shirley would not take that honor on for himself. He said, the name on the front of this uniform is all that matters to me. And padding the Naguabo win column. What a guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why he
Very
is the
good.
font of wisdom right there.
Hmm.
He's the type of player you want to see in that spot.
Yes. Yes. I would say that grimly. I will agree.
So, Louisa, any final thoughts before we let him go?
I am surprised how exciting this game got right at the end. I really thought it was going to extra innings, so you never know, right? That's baseball.
You sure don't. And Eto, if you had told me before this game, hey, Shirley hits a clutch homer in this game,
Uh-huh.
I would have been rather surprised. I don't know that
Yeah.
I would have completely laughed at you, but I think I would have been. I don't think I would have believed you either. So very happy with this win. Here's hoping that they keep it rolling from here on out. I'm not gonna say that they're facing lesser pitchers. If anything, in terms of like pure statistics, it actually gets harder from here on out. But
Mhm.
I do think the other pitchers maybe match up better for the Navegadores in terms of their style. And so they might get a little bit luckier with some of these other guys. But let's be honest here. What wins championships for the Naves has always been keeping your opponents from scoring runs. It's Carolina that has made it here on the strength of their incredible offense. I mean, Ricardo Cano drew 3 walks today. We didn't
Mhm.
even notice that.
Yeah.
So that's what's won games for them. Though it turns out when Handrahan and Kroos can't get anything going, things get really different when the Anglos in the 2, 3, and 4 spots can't really move the ball. That's when you're going to win games against them because the rest of their lineup just can't be trusted there.
Mhm.
Anyway, gente, we're hoping that next week will be something with the 1905 off season that will be moving on to Out of the Park 26. That's the hope anyway. But if we run into an elimination game along the way, if the Navis are suddenly down and are about to lose their 5th game, then we'll probably play that. We're going to try to record as many of them as we can and post them up on YouTube for everybody to see. We figured this is the one game that you should be able to see every game in the series, no matter what, pretty much. And yeah, then we'll move on. But until next time, this is, as always, Isidro Montalvo Espinosa, broadcast coordinator for Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña en Vivo. Very grateful that we got to cross paths tonight.
Oh, no. No.
Buenas noches, gracias mil, y Dios les bendiga.